You had a, everybody was, it's happened, say about 26 years back, this tragedy. I remember where I was exactly, I think all of us, it's like that 26/11 or it's like 9/11. Similarly, Upahar was that like that. And were you looking consciously for actors who looked like Krishnamurtis or who behaved like, because you made me speak to Mrs. Krishnamurti FaceTime.
Sure.
And there was a lot of resemblance in her case. I did not get to see Mr. Krishnamurti.
I think that's a slippery slope. You can go very far with prosthetics and mimicking the actor and sort of trying to embody the physical aspects. That's definitely a concern, but I didn't think that we should prioritize it, and we discussed it. That's not what is the essence of those two people. So the other thing is that these guys had to do some really difficult stuff, very primal feelings. I mean, the experience of losing a child, it's not something that's imaginable. It's not something that there's no word for a parent who's lost a child in any language. Because it's unimaginable. So if you're asking an actor to do that, you don't really want them to be thinking, how would the Krishnamurtis react in this situation? Because the audience will feel it. You want them to be free and to embody that moment. So it's a delicate balance. Obviously, and they were both very proactive with working with the makeup team and the costume team to kind of own it a little bit and own their transformation. But I think our job was really to kind of create an environment where they could be in the moment, because this is that type of material where the things that are happening to them are so profound that the audience will pick it up immediately, and also the audiences are desensitized to, we see this and treat it so badly so often. So how do you make an audience really connect with the performance in that moment? It needs to be true. It needs to be really true. So I don't know where they go to get that. That's not really my job. How they do it, they have. I get the feeling every actor has a different way of doing it, but my job is just to facilitate that. And I think it was really important they were in the moment. So we did little, but that was not the focus.
My next question is a little hypothetical question, but if this was not a series and it was a film, do you think your approach would have been different?
Towards the actors?
Just overall.
No, I think not in spirit.
Because आपको लगता है कि series में 8-7 episode हैं, it's time to establish, time to do that. Film जो है वो 2-2.25 घंटे की है. I'm not talking about the content only. Just overall impact.
So I think the form would have been different. This would not have worked, and the way we would have treated time and the way we would have treated all that would have definitely changed. But the basic approach would have stayed the same, especially with regards to actors and the style of working and
Okay. So this is for both of you. When you read a script, what is that comes to your mind? Forget about that these people were living. Do you first see the physical aspect of the character, means in your mind, or do you want to go in a mental way of approaching the thing? आपको क्या लगता है, जैसे आपको कोई भी स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ने को मिलता है?
सबसे पहले मैं कहानी पढ़ता हूँ. I don't approach it with character.
नहीं, आपको किसी ने बोला है कि ये कैरेक्टर आप कर रहे हो?
Yeah. Even then.
उसके बावजूद
भी मैं ठीक है. I'm going to be playing XYZ character. But script कैसी है, कहानी कैसी है? I need to see if I get absorbed in that world or not. And for me personally, I can do that better when I disassociate as an actor. Because then I'm not focused on my character. I'm focused on everything that makes this special or not special, attractive or unattractive to me. Then if I like that world, that's when I start to look upon the character I'm being considered for and how he fits into that world. What is he contributing to that world? Because then I know better. Okay, this character is passive or active. I'm obviously more attracted to characters that are active, not just who are just responding. But then sometimes that can be fun. I did this film called Ek 40 Ki Last Local, where he's passive. Everything's just happening to him. And he ends up with a lot of money. But it was funny.
Right.
So I see those things. Relatability. How much do I relate? Because if you look at our traditional way of formulaic stuff, you know,
relatability के मतलब I'm not trying to sort of make it easy for you to understand. I think कि आप as an actor उस character के साथ कितना relate कर रहे हो emotionally basically. That's what you mean.
Yeah, like if it was the regular formula where, you know, you have to be a hero, you save the girl, you beat up 10 guys, you don't see those people in real life, and I don't relate to that. But someone like Shekhar, who I play, who's just an average guy, but he overcomes a David versus Goliath kind of story. The system is strong and against him, but yet he perseveres. Or even Dev D, when I wanted to contemporize it because I wanted to call out his chauvinism, his obsessive, destructive behavior, and how the women were much stronger and better characters than he was. And I've lived a life of destruction and obsession myself, so that was something relatable. In Oi Lucky, it was his ambition. You know, to make the kind of movies I made back 12, 14 years ago was ambitious, because nobody wanted to make them, and even if you made them, nobody wanted to release them. So like that, I found something that I can relate to, because when you find something you relate to, it's a great place to start. You don't have to try hard to do something that is already a character of you.
Yeah.
And for me, the process is always the simplest solution is always the right solution. We tend to overcomplicate things. No, but he's depressed, or he's wounded and he's lost this. But think about how you are when you are sad. You might have a cry and then you indulge in something to take that attention away, and you move on, and things take care of themselves. So you don't make a big deal out of things. So these are the things that I look for in character. But as far as story like this one, I will say in particular, I loved the structure. I mean, that also takes some to eventually get an idea of script structure, and it may not take you any time at all. It just depends. Some people have a talent for it. But I see the structure, I see the movement, I see how my character graph goes to the graph of the story. In this case, the non-linear was very attractive. How he chose to show the incident and the way he showed it, because I wasn't comfortable doing a true story like this and then showing the incident. But then how can you not have an impact if you don't show the incident? You kind of had to, unfortunately, show it as well. Like in Delhi Crime, they chose not to show the rape, and it was good. They didn't need to. Whereas in this, to illustrate what these people went through and how it was avoidable, it highlighted it even more. So I could see great care has been taken in writing this. Great sensitivity has been considered while approaching it. So already I knew as an actor, I would not have to even ask those questions of my director. He's already sensitive. He's already not exploiting. So you see, like all these things come together in deciding for me. And there's
Actually, आपके लिए क्या?
Yeah, like couple of points. What Abhay said is so true, that you know how my director is approaching the script. Is he sensitively seeing everything?
थोड़ा सा ऊंचा बोलिए, मुझे लगता है कि शायद एंड तक नहीं जाए.
So
I know आपका गला खराब है, मगर थोड़ा सा.
मैं जैसे ही ऊंचा होती हूँ थोड़ा खांसी आ जाती है.
दोनों बीमार हैं.
I know, we're very thankful कि बीमार होने की वजह से भी अपना जज्बा.
आप सब बीमार हो जाओगे.
तुम होए क्या?
I'm fine. I'm not human.
तो जैसे अभय ने अभी कहा ना कि आपका डायरेक्टर किस तरीके से स्क्रिप्ट को अप्रोच कर रहा है, मतलब इज ही सेंसिटिवली राइटिंग एवरीथिंग, इज ही सेंसिटिवली सीइंग एवरीथिंग. तो इनफैक्ट मेरा मतलब मैं पहले बहुत मतलब इमोशनली स्क्रिप्ट को मैं पहले देखती हूँ कि ये मूव कर रही है नहीं मुझे, and what exactly is telling me the script. It has to talk to me. Okay, this is what you're getting out of this script. And that's how I read first. See, honestly, it is a huge opportunity for me to work with a director like Prashant Nair, whose work I really admire. तो पहले तो ये था कि अच्छा, my first tick mark था क्योंकि Prashant is there. You know, and then the script, of course, I gone through the whole details of the case, Neelam and Shekhar's case, and the whole Upahar thing, and I'm like, I'm so honored to actually, you know, play this part. तो मतलब वो दूसरा tick mark था. फिर script आई हाथ में, then तीसरा tick mark था. So everything was properly tick marked for me. And while approaching Neelam also, you know, I like. Of course, as he said, we don't want to, maybe there is a little resemblance, but not clearly because she's a little different kind of built and everything. But as Prashant's brief was, you have to make it like it's you. You have to find that emotional truth कि ये जो भी कुछ है इसमें, how you can be there in that situation and how will you handle that. So वही होता है कि एज एन एक्टर आप इमोशनली उसको अपना बना लेते हो और अपना बनाने की पूरी तरह से कोशिश करते हो. आप पूरा स्किन नहीं बन सकते हो किसी भी कैरेक्टर का, पर आपको वहाँ तक पहुँचना है, उस रियलिज्म में पहुँचना है जिससे आप लोगों को लगे कि हाँ अरे मैंने फील किया, उसने सिर्फ देखा और मुझे लगा कि अरे उसने कितने सारी बातें कह दी उसमें कि वो कितना गुस्सा है और उसे क्या क्या कहना था, बट शी जस्ट लुक्ड एंड शी जस्ट सेड एवरीथिंग. तो वो आपको अंदर से कैरी ही करना पड़ेगा. देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू परफॉर्म इन अ वे.
Yeah, that's I think important. What stopped you from a temptation of doing the same story but in a little more dramatic manner?
Be polite.
No, that's how I've learnt it from him. That we are exploring the question.
I think they were.
और चाय मंगवाऊं वो वाली मैं आपके लिए? अरे दत्तू हॉल्स देना.
गरम पानी भी.
हाँ, गरम पानी लाओ.
मेरे भी लेना चाहिए actually.
हाँ. चाय और लाओ. Sorry.
I think just because they were real people who've gone through these things, so I think all departments, and I think all of you also, were very aware of the responsibility of it's someone who's who's potentially still alive or whose family is alive, who we're going to be portraying on screen. So we need to be respectful and sensitive, and always ask the question: are we being exploitative? And I think. As working with all of you, I very much felt that you all were also, always asking yourselves that question, as was every single department. So is there, and then also just very frankly, I think audiences are, they understand that, what we are reading is that people are appreciating that we didn't, in the performances or in the design of it, we didn't tell them what to feel. We just tried our best to present the situation and to embody it, but then let them kind of, and this is the big debate, are the audiences ready for it, are they not? And I think they are. I think really they are. There's just not, that we're still operating in an older fashion where we need to push it onto people, whereas people understand it, and I think also for actors, that's amazing to let the audience draw it out of you, that it has more impact. If you're telling the audience what to feel, or if you're just being and the audience is pulling out of it and projecting, then the performance becomes very powerful. And yeah, I think